Hello, everyone. This is the Homegirl Tuesdays at 10. Happy Tuesday. I hope that you all had a wonderful weekend and you are having a wonderful start to your week. So, today's episode or segment is going to be about what you can do with your tax refund check to help you prepare for home ownership. We are now in tax season. And literally, we have like 2 more months to complete our taxes. And some of you may have already had your taxes filed. So I want to give you some insight on what you can do with your tax refund if home ownership is on your goal list for 2025. So let's dive right in. And if you are new to the Homegirl Tuesdays at 10, this is a weekly segment where I bring you bite-sized, digestible pieces of information to help you along your home buying journey, okay? Now, later on, as we kind of move on down the path, we will open up the door to more investing, to more selling your home types of questions. But right now, I want to focus on my buyers. So let's dive in. So Uncle Sam gives you a tax refund every year. You may or may not receive it based on how you did your taxes and your pay stubs and how many claims and all of those things that you file. I don't want to get into the weeds of that. But if you are receiving a tax refund, there are 3 things that you can do to use that check to help you prepare for home ownership. Now, a lot of times people want to go buy a car, or they may want to go shopping, or they may want to save for a trip. But let's put this into perspective. When are you going to get a lump sum amount of money like that? Things can happen. Of course, you can get in a car accident, but we don't want to think like that. So when is the next time you will actually receive a check of this size that you can actually do something with that will push you further along your own personal goal path? Okay, so the first thing you can do to prepare for home ownership with your tax refund check is pay down your debt. So whenever you get ready to get approved for a loan, you have to have minimum debt. They don't want you to be what they call debt heavy, because that adds another layer of risk for you as the applicant for the home loan. So the less debt, the better. Use your tax refund to pay down your debt. If you have credit card bills, if you have student loan payments, work on those things. Now, I've heard 2 different ways that you could tackle your debt. One method, they're both called the snowball methods, but one is saying pay off your smaller balances first and then kind of escalate to your larger balances. So you pay off your smaller balances while you are still making the minimum payment on your larger balances. So that's one. The other method I've heard is the exact opposite of that, but it does have a snowball effect, and it's paying off your largest debt first and still make the minimum payments on your smaller amount, your smaller debt payments. So now if you have a car payment, like, you have to pay those regularly every month. But if you have credit card bills, or you may have an account at a furniture store or a jewelry store, or even a loan, pay down that debt with your tax refund check, because lenders want you to be under 30% total credit utilization. So that means that your debt is small and you're not using a whole lot of the credit, even if you may have it. Okay. So for example, if your credit card bill is $10,000. I'll just say this just to keep the math simple for me. But if your credit card balance is $10,000, then you need to be right around like $3,500 as far as what your balance that you should carry. Even if you could use $10,000, you want to be using less than that, which will be around $3,500 or so. So use your tax refund to pay down your debt to help you increase your chances of, one, getting approved, because you have to be below a certain percentage rate, right, when it comes to your debt. So to get approved for the loan, and also the lower amount of debt that you have, the higher that pushes your pre-approval amount. So you want to make sure that you're tackling those monthly debts with your tax refund check. The next thing you can do is save the check for your down payment and closing costs. There are down payment assistance programs out there. Yes, they are. But I always advise my clients to come ready to play. So, what does that mean? That means that you're really not asking for anything when it comes to closing costs. You already have your own down payment. Some sellers, depending on what's going on with the home, they may not want to work with a down payment assistance program. Why? Because it can actually extend the closing process. I actually had that happen with my most recent listing. The buyers were getting down payment assistance, and it pushed our closing out like 7 days. So some sellers may not want to deal with that, especially if they have a multiple offer situation on their home. So you save your tax refund check so that you're ready to pay your down payment, and you're also ready to pay your closing costs. So being ready to play means that you're walking into a situation where you're writing an offer on a home, but you're not asking for anything. You're not asking for anything. So you have your own closing costs. You're not asking the seller to help you pay that. You may be able to pay your buyer's agent commission. That's a new thing now, right? In this new market with the settlement of last year. So you could use that money to also pay your buyer agent's commission, just so that you're not asking the seller for anything. And when you have a multiple offer situation, that right there will definitely help your offer stand out. I call that a clean offer. You're not asking for anything because you came ready to play, and you're ready to play because you saved your tax refund check to help you. Okay. Next, the last thing you can do, or one of the last things you can do, is use your down payment for inspections, your earnest money deposit, and your due diligence fee. So what does that mean? Whenever you're under contract, you have to put down earnest money. If you're in North Carolina, you have to put down due diligence. And that's money that you have to have readily available. You cannot say, oh, well, I'm going to wait 2 weeks to pay my due diligence fee. I'm going to wait 2 weeks to pay my earnest money deposit. It just doesn't work like that. You should have the money readily available and ready to cut the check as soon as you go under contract. So you can use your tax refund check, have that in waiting for those costs. And again, you want to come to play, like you want to come ready to play when it comes to you writing these offers. So if you already have your earnest money deposit, you already have your due diligence fee, you're good to go. And you did that because you were smart enough to say, hey, I'm going to save my tax refund check. I'm not going to spend it. I'm going to save it in preparation for my home purchase. Something else you have to also pay up front are your inspection fees. So if you're having a home inspection, which I advise any buyer to have, even if you're buying it as is, always get an inspection. You may have to have a termite inspection. That's on top of your just general home inspection. Some people go as far as having like mold tests done or radon tests done, or they may have someone come in and do a separate HVAC inspection. So those are all separate fees. So you want to make sure that you're in position to cover those fees. And how do you do that this time of year? You do it with your tax refund check, because it's, in a sense, it's not like free money, but it's money that you've worked for, you poured into your taxes. So that's great. But you can look at it as like, oh, I have just money coming in and I didn't have to do a whole lot for it to get it in this instance, even though I worked for it. So use your money wisely, because like I said earlier, when do you think you will ever get a lump sum of money like this, of this amount? Even if it's $2,000, you'll be good to go in a lot of transactions. Even if it's $3,000, you're good to go in a lot of transactions. And your tax refund check can also be used for you to like buy new furniture, your moving your expenses. So yeah, let's be smart with our finances. Let's be smart with our money. Sometimes you have to delay what you want in order to get what you need. And homeownership provides stability and all all of those things. So that does become a need. So I hope that this is a opportunity for you to change your mindset about your relationship with money and what you're going to do with your tax refund to help you prepare for home ownership. All right, so I also have the buyer readiness assessment in my comments. Okay, make sure you get that. The spring market is about to start revving up, and we want to make sure that you are in the know as to what's going on with your credit. It's going to ask you questions about the cash on hand you have and all of those things to help you have a more informed and educated conversation with your lender, because it's going to list out to them where you stand financially and credit wise. So it's definitely something you want to take advantage of, and it's only $1. So this has been the Homegirl Tuesdays at 10. I hope that you all have a wonderful rest of your week and use your tax refund wisely. It can go a long way. Y'all have a good day.